This is all wrong. Is it? Yes. You ever think of dandelions? The flowers? On the wind. Where are you heading? Wherever the winds take me. Shut up, this is all wrong. Who's to say that? I am. I am to say that. They're not supposed to be going this way, doing all this. Kian's kept a falcon stone like it's theirs. And the falcon's gone. She's gone now. And they're trying to make up with Jacques even though no one else likes him. He's a monster after all. Isn't Kian? No. And they're running off with their new friends to I don't even know where. All because they don't like Terran Yvain and no one seems happy about it. It's stupid. Seems good reasoning to me. It's not. It's just because Henry Goodlove didn't want to go through the shepherd's trial the right way. Now he's gone and had that Umbra do it. Henry. Right. He woke. He saw the sky above, and he heard. And behind the clouds a star falls. Let's see how he's doing. Henry, the clouds have returned to the sky in your vision, and you find yourself heavy with 5 points of exhaustion, which, to those of you who are unaware, 5 points of exhaustion means you have disadvantage on all ability checks, your speed is halved, you have disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws, your hit point maximum is halved, and your speed is reduced to 0. Every time you get a long rest, you will lose 1 point of exhaustion, and you will regain one of those things, starting with the speed reduced to 0. For now, you find yourself able to move, able to speak, but you can tell without trying that you can't get up. Your chest still hurts terribly, though it's been wrapped in bandages and healed with salves, best as it can be. And in your hand, you hold a new gem that you haven't seen before.
Wait, does Henry have a Dilf stripe? Important question.
Oh my god, that's right.
Instead of like in the hair, could it be wrapped around one of the horns that like curls down?
Ooh. Whoa, what the fuck?
Yes.
Keratin?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's so sexy. That's so sexy, actually. Sorry.
Dalen and Umbra still hover over you, a bit nervously, but calmly. Not too far off, Vincent and Nadia look at each other, back to you, not quite sure if they should approach or if they're needing to stay back. What are the rest of you doing?
I think that I said Virgil was next to Henry, like checking on him.
Kian has entered the clearing, but is staying on the outskirts, anxiously trying to make sure Henry's okay, but also stay back
From the blood.
from the blood.
Kirit is still concerned for Henry, but is lost in thought and looking pensive.
Umbra leans back, stands up. All right, I think the best thing to do might be to set up camp for you all. I want to explain a bit better what I found in Commander Navade's office, and then I should be heading back. Mr. Goodlove, I'm sure you'd like to get some rest.
Yes.
She looks at Henry with an apology sort of on the tip of her tongue, but she holds it back. Do you all have camping supplies I can help set up? Shall we set up here?
It's as safe a place as any in the ocean.
Do you guys want to help Umbra set up camp, or are you going to just let her do it herself?
Sit back and watch her work.
She will.
No.
Henry can't.
No, Henry's not expected to.
Don't
Your
worry.
job is to sit there and look pretty, we all know.
Virgil will take the initiative to get Henry settled in a bedroll, like propped up, so he's comfortable.
We can build a tent around him.
Yeah, we can. And we do.
Yeah, Dalen, Umbra, and Kirit all carefully build a tent around Henry.
Kian can definitely start a fire, right? Does Kian know how to set up a fire?
Yeah, don't look at me like that.
What is a 10 insight check? Get me.
Kian knows how to set up a fire really nicely.
Okay.
Well, it's called collecting all of the wet wood and using magic to make everything work out.
I actually think it's Dalen who looks over to you, Bree, and says, Kian, if you could start the fire. And turns back to setting up the tent.
Kian doesn't notice it at first. It's a little bit later that Kian kind of freezes and... Wait, what did you just call me?
When you say a little bit later...
Like 5 minutes.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Kian finishes setting up the fire first.
So it's like a good few minutes. Dalen is, I think in this moment, just taking out another bedroll, rolling it back out underneath the stars, tentless, and looks over to you. Pardon?
A few minutes ago, you called me a name. It's not my name.
Dalen looks over to Umbra, who looks over to Dalen, and you can see a unhidden glimmer of amusement on her face, and he looks back to you. Apologies. Bree, right?
Was it really that easy to figure it all out?
Well, yes.
Devastating.
Yeah.
But I think it was probably a smart idea considering your plans going forward.
Did you figure it out? They kind of look down at their disguise, pat down their dress, and kind of, look at their hands.
Dalen shakes his head. It's not a failure of your disguise, your appearance. But by magical means, it is possible to locate you.
How?
Scrying spells, for example.
They've been scrying on me?
Well, when we discovered you were missing, yes.
Oh. Right. Is there something I can do about that?
Yes, if you just wait maybe about an hour, Dimitri should be back, and he has your items that you asked for, as well as a few additional things that we thought may be helpful. Dalen just nods as Kian falls quiet, or as Bree, falls quiet, gets back to pitching up camp. Once you're all settled in, the fire is going, Umbra just sits down on the ground and pulls out that little pack again, where she had taken out the notes and the quickly drawn map. All right, I should be leaving soon, but if you would just gather around, I hoped to present things to you a little bit more clearly now that we're not actively running.
Yeah, that would be appreciated.
Again, I'm afraid I couldn't take anything, obviously, for fear it would be noticed. But I just did some snooping, took some quick notes of my own. So as you saw from the map, they're marking these havens, as they call them. One of them is where you found a haven, a safe place for Enosh. So I assume the rest of these markings are the same thing, or at least something that they suspect is the same thing. And they're marking places beneath specific stars. And, well, you provided them with certain maps, didn't you? That's correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
It seems that it's a sort of mirror, the sky, and some of these havens where they're finding these mushrooms. I don't know where they found the first ones for the original shepherds, but I assume it's one of these. That's why I was able to do some of my research, why we were able to do this. She gestures over to Henry.
Trying to figure out how to phrase this in a way that doesn't make me sound dumb. Do the stars move?
There are some stars that say fixed and some that move.
Whoa. Okay. So we spin, but those stars stay anchored to...
Yes.
Oh. What the fuck? Advanced stars.
Yeah, advanced stars. Commander Navain thinks that you, Floris, are in contact with whatever it is you're in contact with because of your shepherd abilities. I don't know if they created the shepherds to contact this being, or if it was a result they discovered afterwards and are now in pursuit of it. But they seemed to have hoped Sterling would achieve the same sort of abilities, and I haven't heard anything of the sort before. You think back to this memory and to Navain, and I mean, they didn't hide that they were interested in that. They encouraged the meditation, encouraged the practice of reaching out to this light. It was clear that it was something that they were curious about.
Yeah.
But you, as is usually the case, cannot register much beyond a emotionally distant interest. Did Sterling ever tell you about something similar that they kept from our commander?
Not to my knowledge. His gifts manifested in other ways, as I'm sure you know. But Errol, and he will look over at the bat that is still on Henry's shoulder, question mark?
Yes, Errol has not left Henry's shoulder.
Did it ever speak to you?
Errol is not paying attention.
Babe? Sweetie? Errol?
They're curled up on Henry's shoulder. They, at the second calling of their name, raise their head and shake it. I didn't think I will. Commander Nevane didn't think so. But it does seem they have similar hopes for Mr. Goodlove here and Kian finals. I'm not sure why. Perhaps the connection to Iliakos, but they have the Phoenix on their side. Iliakos is known to be the most powerful celestial, so she shrugs, clearly at a loss. I'm not sure. They're interested in them, at least, out of the 5 of you. And I couldn't find much on your friend Ox. Just a couple of other names. They seem intrigued. They seem intrigued by all of you. Do you know a Jade Moore?
The last name is familiar.
I'm afraid that's all I have for you. Who is this person?
Well, I'm wondering if it could be Scarlet. We've heard Ox use Moore before, or at least heard it in relation to him.
She glances over the papers in her hand again. Aurel Moore, do you know?
Virgil hesitates but nods. That might be Oxalis.
She sighs, nods again, straightens up the papers. She just has like 2. She presents them to you like a well-written essay. I wish I had more, but I'm afraid that and the map is all I could uncover in my brief time there.
This is more than helpful. Thank you.
I don't necessarily advise looking into this if you prefer safety, but I figured considering how it involves you, you should know a bit more about what's going on.
At least it gives us some semblance of preparedness.
Preparedness for what, if I may ask?
Nevane?
If they're going to be investigating these places, I'd like to find it first. Whatever they're looking for.
I was hoping you'd say that. I, of course, would be interested in learning what you learn, but I also understand if you are trying to keep your distance from me as much as you can. But I will be staying in contact with both Dale and Dimitri. If any of you need to contact anyone in Donning, she looks over at you, Virgil, as she says this, I'm sure I can find a way.
Thank you. I may be taking you up on that.
I will try my utmost best to not arouse suspicion. Speaking of, and she stands, well, I guess she moves to stand up and then seems to remember that she's in a tent and sits back down. I should go.
Yes, before you are missed. If you can, maybe just continue to try and sway the other commanders. I don't think they know all of this. If they did, it might be different. Maybe start with Gree.
Her gaze falls just to her hands.
Or, stay safe. Because we need someone. Keen kind of looks anxiously over.
She nods. I don't think encouraging similar pursuits to mine or suspicion towards Nevane is a terribly good idea. I think I'm already being looked at with a bit more suspicion after I tried to speak with Ko about their gem. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. Stay safe.
She nods and sits up straight in order to pay a small bow to all of you, and then quickly races away. You are left alone for the time being. Dalen has set up a little pallet for himself outside.
Henry, are you doing okay?
I mean, it's fine. Or will be. I was thinking a little more along the lines of what Umbra was saying. Because do you remember that one room that we were in with all the basins and the water and the star ceiling marks when we were in Freya? Where?
The glowing one?
Yes, that one. What I was thinking is that it's unusual that now Umbra is saying that Nevane thinks that you, I, and Kian could commune with this entity. Well, Rowan, it doesn't seem to be able to, but when we were in that room, do you remember that we, the 3 of us, able to light the whole star path thing, but not Ox, Kirit, or Rowan.
Yes, I recall.
I've been trying to figure out what the three of us have in common that is not present in the other three. Or perhaps what they have that we don't have. I'm not sure if somebody has something or is missing something. I'm not sure which party is which. But one common thread.
Have you found anything, or?
No, just bringing it to the group mostly.
It has been on my mind, but well, it's hard to see a pattern.
I mean, we have this, I don't know, communion thing to go off of that Nevane seems to suspect. Not that I necessarily trust Nevane,
No, I know you don't.
but, I mean, well, it's not like they intended us to find out this, so I think it's at least as reliable as that.
Well, maybe when you're feeling a bit better, I can show you how I do it, or at least how I did. It's a bit on and off these days. I don't know why.
Well, we could at least partially establish a pattern with two of us.
And I mean, Kian, if you wanted to try, I could tell you how. I don't know how it will work for you, or if it will at all. I always thought it was a result of some shepherd ability.
I don't know if I want to be making any more connections like that.
I don't blame you for that. You don't have to.
Be careful. Keep us updated.
Yeah.
That haven that Umbra spoke of, what was all that?
As far as we understand it, it seemed to be an area of safety in the oceans. There was no guardian that we could see, or if there was, they did not contact us.
Just like an island with no guardian?
That is what it seemed to be. It was a lake with a ring of mushrooms around the shore, from what I remember.
Interesting.
And the mushrooms are related to the trial, and they make it easier for... There was a whole... At least part of the whole purpose that they wanted the Dawn Shepherds to do it was because it made it easier to go about in the oceans.
Yes, supposedly it makes you immune to whatever negative effects things from the oceans could have on you.
Were they the same mushrooms that we saw in Freya?
I think so. And at least the ones in Freya we know were fed by celestial blood.
And also produced a stone that's similar to the you know, that Henry holds up his clenched hand.
Maybe we should talk about this later after you rest a bit.
And when we're further from here, perhaps.
You just look pretty
Period.
Pretty.
exhausted. I feel like you're speaking a little bit less clearly than...
The ideas are relatively vague at this point anyways. Like a tiny island is what I was thinking. I should probably go to sleep then.
I think it would do you some good.
Surprised you're still awake, actually.
Well, Virgil will just get up to go outside and take first watch. He'll sit by the fire with Orna, who I would think at this point is no longer a dog. He'll just go sit with his back up against her and keep watch, because we're in the oceans now, guys.
Dalen sits beside Orna, looks over to you. You can get some rest. I can take watch.
Thank you for that, but I don't know that I can sleep just yet.
I also can't sleep, so I can fix that out.
Would you like... I could try helping you out with magic if you want.
Can I have you roll a persuasion check?
Sure.
Let me set an arbitrary DC. Okay.
17.
Yeah, what did you have in mind?
The sleep spell. No, that's called sleep. I cast it on you and you maybe go to sleep if your hit points are not that good. Sorry, did you want me to say that in character?
No, but I think that was in character. Virgil glances at Dalen and then back to Kirit. Yeah, okay, sure.
Do you think that will work on me?
I could try.
You can try at a different time, it's fine.
Yeah, perhaps another night.
He'll just lean back against Orna. Try to settle back.
You're going to sleep here?
It's what I've always done. Out here.
Alright. Kira will cast sleep on Virgil.
Virgil peacefully falls into a pleasant sleep.
Kian's gonna go like 10 feet away, taking a little phone call in the corner, and contact Philia. Leah, we're outside of the gates. There is someone with us now, and we can't really move. But you could come. They're not like a bad someone. Tomorrow might be better. Whatever works. Other people gonna count.
Probably about 25 minutes.
I didn't know if you had prepared this message ahead of time or not.
No.
We're outside the gates. Close. Other person?
We like him. He's officially endorsed.
I can be there soon. If you prefer.
Well, I trust him. But I could sneak away for a minute. Or two. We're close, I think, to where you wanted to meet. Where? Where meet? How? Why?
Those questions are lost to the ether.
Leah?
I have magic for that. To find you. Stay put. I'll come over now.
Kian walks over to Dalen by the fire. My friend's gonna meet us here soon. So don't be worried if there's somebody. If you hear something. Well, maybe if it's a bad thing. But it's probably my friend.
Who?
Dalen just listens to all of this with a small smile.
Ophelia. That's who we were planning to bring Errol to.
No offense, but your taste in friends seems spotty at times. Well, not friends per se, but friends.
What do you mean?
Your taste in men.
It's okay.
Never mind.
Excuse me.
You're excused.
She's perfect.
In a couple minutes, you hear from the trees. Kian? Hello?
Kian will stand up and wave in the direction of the noise.
Kian?
It's me!
She appears at the edge of the firelight. There's a big smile on her face, and then it falters as she looks between all of you. Is it still Virgil, Kirit? Are you still out here, Kirit?
Yeah, it's here. Virgil's
asleep, so yeah, Virgil's
Honk.
okay. Yeah. Dalen and an unfamiliar to her tiefling girl in a lovely little dress. Ophelia takes a confused step back, not quite fearful, but cautious.
Don't worry, it's me.
She looks you up and down.
Kian.
Yes, I got that. She just runs over to you and wraps you in a hug.
They hug back tightly.
She squirms a bit to pull out of it and takes a step back, places her hands on your shoulders, and then up to each side of your face, and then to the horns, and is just kind of patting them. How are you doing this?
It just kind of works like this now.
Can you re-key in yourself?
Don't freak out.
She glances over to Kirit, to Dalen, who gives a little wave, Kirit style, and back to Kian/Bree. I'm already freaking out, actually, just at your behest. What do you mean?
They just dropped the disguise.
Oh.
Hi.
Well, first things first. And she reaches up and just passes her hand over where the horns were to see if something's there to stop them. And there isn't anything. She lowers her hand. You've changed a bit since I last saw you.
Bit of an understatement. It's okay.
Bit of an understatement. As in, you were bit... I don't know, I'm trying to make some sort of joke about this, but I can't quite... Are you a vampire?
It's a great question. Maybe... Do you want to sit down?
Okay. She sits down and just where she is.
Codex is gonna trot up to her and sniff her hand and see if she likes dogs.
She holds out a hand to Codex, and as soon as he reveals that he's friendly, she's extremely friendly in return. And, pats her lap, hoping he'll come over.
Oh, he'll snuggle up.
There's a clear sort of a cheerful energy fueled by nervousness about her as she gives him scritches. And she glances over again to Virgil, who is still slumbering.
Felly there?
Yes, Felly is there, sitting on Ophelia's shoulder. Should we move further away, or...
I think that he's pretty asleep right now.
Hello. She looks over to Dalen, who gives a nod. Okay, what's going on? Just tell me. You saw Isaac, I know that, which was interesting news. And Jacques, you mentioned Jacques. You failed to mention this, though I suppose I understand that, considering we didn't... I'll shut up now. Go on, please.
I didn't want to worry you any more than I've already worried you. Seemed like this was better to just mention now.
Are you wanting to come with us? If you had just said, You don't have to say you have a vampire friend. You can say you are the vampire friend. And as you're perfectly aware, we do not have an issue with that. You're welcome to come back with us.
I'd love to come with you. There's a lot going on. And I do have a vampire friend. That wasn't a lie.
Is this vampire friend the reason why you're a vampire friend?
No, I don't think so. No, I know for sure.
You actually do know for sure it's not Errol.
You don't think so?
No, I know for sure. Sorry, it's really nice to see you. That's a whole other thing. I'm not really sure exactly. Well, what part do you want first?
I don't know. Should we be waiting until morning for this, so everyone is here to explain? Or do you want to tell me all of this? I suppose you don't have to rest, but She sits up, folds her hands in her lap. If you want to tell me everything now, go ahead. If you want to wait, go ahead. I am here to listen.
Well, how about we start with some of it? Just the parts that are mostly just me. Sorry, it's kind of hard to think of where to start. Aylin's not my patron anymore.
She doesn't look terribly surprised about this.
Kirt looks a little surprised.
Ophelia just gives a small nod.
And it turns out they were doing something to keep me from turning. So once that ended, one thing just kind of led to another.
Have you thought about speaking to your father?
I mean, I've never been able to.
Distant parent.
Pretty distant. So that's happening. There's a lot. I don't know. Can I just tell you what we've been up to? I think you kind of have to know the whole thing.
Go ahead.
And I think as everybody else sleeps, Kian will go through what they've all been up to until they return to Dawning. Not quite ready to talk about Jock just yet. But everything regarding the Falcon and Nivane, and also, I guess, what was happening in Enosh from their perspective. There's a lot of hesitation at first. But as they get into the story, their feelings and anxiety about it are pushed to the side. And they just kind of tell it like a story. As if it's a story that isn't about them.
As Kian reaches the middle of their story and stops there, Ophelia waits for a moment. Wow, okay. Where is your friend? Your vampire friend, who I am supposed to be meeting. Did you tell her his name?
I guess probably in that story, yes.
How did you introduce him?
Kian would have referred to them as Errol. Kian would have explained the circumstances of, this is someone Virgil is close to, and wished back.
From the
dead.
Where is your friend, Errol, you said it was?
I think they were watching over Henry.
Oh, wouldn't want to disturb that. Perhaps you should just wait out here.
No, it's just more like I'm kind of worried. Henry's fine.
That's not typically what one says after they say that they're worried, but that's good to know.
Henry's maybe physically unwell at the moment.
Right.
And will be better soon. Let me go get Errol.
Let's just let him rest. It's all right, we can talk in the morning. There's a hint of concern on her face, like a pinch to her brow.
Okay.
Okay.
How have you been? What have you been up to?
Oh, nothing much, apparently.
I don't really believe that.
Fixing some things with my family and my sister, and went back to the Winds, and we're trying to...
Is everyone okay?
Yes, everyone's alright. Oh, we just need to... Well, you know, we didn't expect to have to plan for being us without Lachlan, which we should have planned for, obviously, because our missions are not typically safe, but it's been a bit an awkward transition. You know, Lizzie's not the leader type,
Yeah.
but he's probably the most responsible of all of them. And I wasn't around for a bit, but I should be back now for a while. Is your friend responsible? Could he just sort of slide on into Lachlan's place? And I'm kidding.
I think you know. Why aren't you in the lead?
I sort of am, but like I said, trying to figure out some family problems in the Feywilds, so I have to come and go once in a while. Beatrice has been of some help in that. Thankfully, she has a glowing reputation among the court. She sends her regards also in hopes, again, that you will come to her wedding. I did tell her that you are a bit occupied, but she doesn't seem to understand that should matter when it comes to romance.
Yeah.
I think you would like each other.
It was all kind of a blur meeting her last time.
No, it's a shame. She could use some friends.
It's fucking true. But that's mostly figured out for you, right? You're fine.
I am fine. I am.
And your magic soul sorted out.
Sort of, yes. I have Felly. She lifts up a finger and Felly flies over and lands on it. Ophelia smiles. So, what's most important is still here. If you don't mind, I actually haven't slept yet. And I don't know if I, want to casually converse right now.
Yeah, of course. Do you have a bedroll and everything? You could use mine.
No, it's alright.
Because you have your own, or... Because I'm not going to be using mine.
I guess that's true, yes, I'll take yours.
Keen will help set it up by the fire. And give her a big hug.
She gives you a big hug in return. And just as it seems like she's about to settle down and close her eyes, Kian, you don't have to give me any details, but is Ox alright?
Yeah, he's fine.
Okay,
He just left before we did.
good. And you can see some of that pinched concern that's been in her face relax a bit. She huddles up underneath the blankets.
We'll talk more in the morning.
You just hear a mumbled something from beneath the blankets.
Good night.
Philly goes. It's a whispered whistle.
Yeah. Marigold is probably very excited to see Felly again.
It's not long after that Dimitri arrives, but he arrives quietly. He expects people may be sleeping. Kian, are you on watch? What are you doing?
They re-breathify themselves. They're sitting taking watch.
Dalen stays up. Dimitri soon arrives, walks into the light of the fire, and there's just a glimmer of panic in his eyes as Dalen gestures for him to come over quietly. Dimitri settles beside him. Doesn't really look at you,
And Dalen murmurs something to him and he nods. He looks over to Kian for the first time. You should put this on. And he holds just a simple silver chain out to you.
As Kian's putting it on, what does it do?
It will keep eyes off of you, or it should.
That would be good.
Don't take it off.
At all?
Well, unless you want eyes to be on you, then, yeah, I'll...
Okay.
I think Dimitri would probably have a tent. I think that would be his coping mechanism. Dimitri quickly begins to set up a tent for himself, crawls inside. Dalen will follow once he feels like there is a good watch established. And you are not questioned any further for the rest of the night. Henry, you are able to sleep full rest, so you now only have 4 points of exhaustion, which means that you are able to move, though your speed is halved.
I finally have none. I slept it off.
Good for you!
Oh, man.
Good thing you cast that spell. Morning comes around, the sun starts to rise. It wakes you, Virgil, shining in this small clearing that you have found yourself in. And it should feel like a beautiful, clear, crisp day, were it not for the oceans around you, weighing down on you. But not weighing down on you as much, Henry, as you are accustomed. That is the one, I guess, point of relief that you can sense within yourself amongst this healing journey that you're on. It's not so bad out here. And you thought yourself used to it, like someone used to living in high climates. But it almost feels like being inside the borders of an island. And the people begin to wake around you, Gia.
As everyone starts to wake up, try and gather the party into the tent.
Ophelia joins you.
If Henry sets Errol on the floor next to him, well, I wouldn't be the floor. It would be like the pillow. Would he stay there?
Yes, he will. He doesn't insist on being on Henry's shoulder. Yeah,
He just starts clambering up.
So you're greeted by Henry sitting up, still looking a bit pale, and Errol, the bat, sitting on the pillow. They look over to you with their beady little bat eyes as you step inside.
Virgil will join them in the tent once he's done his morning routine of water all of these beans, give Orna a pat on the nose, and go join the folks. He's visibly happy to see Ophelia and will give her a greeting.
She gives Virgil a hug.
Oh,
It's good to see you. Good to see you all right.
It's very good to see you too.
You as well, Mr. Goodlove. Are you... Oh, what's going on? Do you need healing?
I've been told it won't really do anything, so...
Oh?
No, don't. It is just a matter of time. Magic doesn't heal this sort of wound.
Okay, Okay. Go on, I'm ready.
There's a lot to go over. We're okay.
You'll have to remind me, to what degree are you familiar with Virgil's situation?
Well, it seems I'm completely unfamiliar with everyone's situation at the moment. Which situation are we talking about?
Also, I don't know if you've met Kira. Kira, Ophelia.
Hi.
Hello. Sorry. She holds out a hand.
Kier takes it and shakes it.
It's wonderful to meet you. I'm a bit,
No, yeah, this is a lot.
Yes.
It's quite understandable.
Some things have changed since I last was here. And also things were a bit much when I was here, so...
Apologies for that.
It's, I assume, not your... Okay, what's your situation? What situation do you have that Mr. Goodlove also has?
Well, Henry has gone through the same sort of process that made me a Dawn Shepherd.
Oh.
Yes. But we hope it is now counteracting the effects of the curse he bears, so...
This thing that you do, or that you went through in the past, Virgil, that was, you were a Dawn Shepherd, that was... Why are you also a Dawn Shepherd now?
I did not join the Dawn Shepherds. That...
How is it that you were able to access... Sorry, listening. I'm listening.
Mushrooms?
We recreated the process, and we were able to put Henry through it. It seems he has come out the other side all right.
He doesn't look all right, to be honest. No offense.
No, this is typical. It will wear off given time.
Okay.
He looks a lot better right now than he did last night.
Oh, dear. I'm going to shut up until you're finished and you tell me I may talk.
No, you're doing wonderfully.
Sorry, it's just hard to catch you all up.
You mentioned Isaac at some point, and Lachlan and Jacques, and also Ox.
Well, we talked about Ox.
Well, you told me he's alright.
We are going to regroup later, when it is safer for everyone.
His sister seems to be a little too interested.
Right.
I don't know where to start with all of this. So something tells me you might know a bit more than you've led me to believe. But, found Lachlan. Or at least,
You found Jacques.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Why doesn't that surprise you?
Did he know who you were?
I think deep down, there's something.
Right. This is not the first time it's happened. He left the Winds once, 50, 60 years ago. Things had gotten a bit... He had told someone the truth, and they did not take it well, and he ended up leaving. And when he came back... Well, he didn't come back, exactly. I had to bring him back, because he did not recall much.
What do you mean, bring him back?
I mean, I went out in search of a banjo player and singer with an impressive stage presence and a charming smile, and he wasn't terribly difficult to track down.
But how did you do it?
I just searched for him.
Oh, I mean, how do you get him to remember?
I didn't.
So, what? He just reset to an earlier point?
Yes.
What? He'll just never be Lachlan again?
No, I mean,
I'll never remember.
I don't know.
Were you ever able to find out how it happened in the first place?
I don't know if Vivienne took his memories or if it was something else along the way.
Did he have contact with Vivienne that you know of, that first time?
Yes, that is where he went after he first left. But he knew he had forgotten things. I mean, he knew there were blank spaces, and he was not happy with that, at least after the fact. He did not like that he didn't remember. I didn't think that he would do it again.
Well, this go around he's affiliated directly, as in partnered, with Scarlet.
Oh,
I think they're leading. Well, I don't know what they're calling them exactly. The Winds of Change.
pardon?
Did you not tell her last night about the Winds knockoff?
Getting there, there's a lot to go over.
So they're called the Winds of Change.
They've sort of bastardized what your winds have been doing.
Stupid fucking name. I told him it doesn't roll off the tongue in the same way.
So it's Jacques' naming?
Yeah, I suspect so, unless he and Scar got together and came up with it.
He just took the logo of all as well and just rotated it 180 degrees.
You know, I don't even have the space to be worried about that right now. But that is infuriating.
I'm just pleased to have somebody who's as upset about it as I am.
I've been upset about it.
What this does tell us, though, is that there are things that have stuck. Memories.
That's true.
He had some sense he knew you.
Yeah. No, it was just right there. And then he'd ignore it.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's not like it's the end of that. It won't be.
No.
I just don't know how. I'll figure it out.
Right. Yes.
And then I did see. It's not good news. I don't know if it's reversible.
What, Kian?
Isaac Stone.
She nods. She doesn't look particularly thrown off by this. We suspected that may be the case.
So this is someone you know?
Yeah.
He was part of the Winds for quite a few years.
And how long ago did you lose him?
5 years.
Something like that.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
If it's not too rude to inquire, why did you suspect he might become a stone statue?
Because I got him stuck in Lethos.
It wasn't your fault, Kian. Like I said, our missions are dangerous sometimes. We all know that.
But it was my fault. And now he's stone.
Did you visit Lethos?
Oh, I think, Scar and Jock were looking for some golems to use, and, I think maybe that stone figure called out to him.
Right, that's fucked. Okay, I'm sorry you had to see that.
Sorry, I, wasn't really thinking clearly when I messaged you.
No, I wouldn't be either.
But maybe we can fix it.
I don't know. Not everything can be fixed.
Yeah.
Daddy dearest,
Yes.
do I know anything about Lethos?
Same.
It's an island,
Would you
right?
guys like to roll history check?
Is this regarding Fey, Fiends, or Undead?
If you are looking specifically into, like, the Guardian,
Yeah, I'll do that.
Alright.
26.
Henry, it's unfamiliar to you. I mean, the islands that you know well, but, of course, the islands that do not have a good love rail line heading to and from them maybe have, fallen to the wayside in your education. It makes sense that Kirit and Virgil would have at least heard of this place. Kirit, you know it as an island close to Freya, to the north, where travelers are advised to stay away from, if they do know about it. The Guardian is not known to be kind, and the sacrifice that the Guardian requires to continue its protection is in the form of a single person each year. It is also a place known for its impressive stone statues scattered throughout the land. And the stories say you can tell if someone has come from this island because they will be wearing a mask and have like a belt of masks around them at all times. There's a bit of a folklore tone to the way people talk about them, because you've never really heard of someone actually leaving this island. Virgil, you have been to this island. Briefly. Your squadron was looking for a safe place to stop as you traveled through the oceans, because though you are immune to the oceans, you are not immune to attacks by monstrous beasts and aberrations. And this was a mission that Sterling was leading, one of the earlier ones. And as you approached this island and reached the gates, he asked you all to stand back so as to appear less threatening, and walked forward and spoke with the guard at the gate. And then when he came back, he shook his head and asked you all to move from there. And as you all headed back into the depths of the oceans, he explained what the Guardian sacrificed and the risks of entering. One of you may not leave if you go in. Thank you for telling me. It's good to know.
Is it?
Yes, I prefer to know.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel the same.
Well, just go to Vivienne and maybe she can help you forget.
Yeah, I'm having a really rough time here right now. Can you just
So am I.
be comforting?
Gallows
I
humor.
apologize. Is there anything else?
Is there anything else? Yeah, well, also, don't worry if you hear that I'm dead. Because I'm not, obviously.
Yes.
But also, if anybody else asks, I am.
Okay.
They faked their death.
Oh. She seems a bit, pleased by that almost.
That's kind of, they gesture at themselves. I guess for right now, I'm going by Bree, although we haven't been the best at that.
Bree. I like it suits you. And you're a friend who's coming with us. You're not coming with us, correct? And she looks to all of you. Just your friend.
If they still choose to do so, yes.
Where are you all going?
I don't know, actually. I kind of thought we were staying together for a bit with them. But is that not the plan?
Do we really want to take the winds to the sort of places we're going? There will be eyes on those places.
Yeah. I guess I just misunderstood some things.
Well, maybe we could head in the same direction for a few days, give you some time before we part.
I'm sure I'll be back when we get this all sorted. I promise I will.
You don't have to come back. I was just curious.
But I want to. And hopefully, well, I guess while I'm making big promises, maybe I'll bring Lachlan with me next time.
Hope you will.
But I will be back. Keen looks over to Errol. I think it's gonna be easier if, we talk face to face.
Errol looks back at you.
Just a little bat blink.
Virgil.
Yeah, there are some introductions to take place if you're ready.
There's a pause. And then... Poof. What?
Animorphs.
Yeah.
One fear.
No, it's a poof. There's a little poof. And then Errol is sitting there beside Henry. Arms already folded crossed tight to their chest. When my face is a bat, it is still my face if you want to talk face to face.
It's a little hard for you to speak, though. And I think that is important.
I don't have anything to say.
Right, well, this is Ophelia, as I'm sure you have heard. She is with the winds. Ophelia, this is Errol Strauss, my dearest friend.
She was about to, reach forward and shake his hand, and then hesitates for a second before continuing onward. Errol takes her hand, shakes it. Strauss. And Errol just shrugs as they give her hand a shake and pull it away. And not the Strauss as you're thinking of, but yes, Strauss. Oh, pleasure to meet you.
No, wait. There's multiple Strauss families?
Henry, you feel just at your side a very sharp elbow jab into you. There are the famous Strausses, and then there is me and my family. I suspect there are multiple of many family names out there, but everyone always thinks of them when they hear Strauss.
Yeah.
That was the funniest line in the whole podcast.
I get it a lot, but sorry, he looks back to Ophelia. Not terribly exciting.
In any case, they're rather new to being a vampire, and we were hoping you might be a sort of welcoming face.
Well, of course. The carriage is perfectly set up for a vampire to live in. I'm certain Lachlan wouldn't mind if his room was taken by someone who needs it.
That would be very gracious of you.
Of course. I suspect you need to be on the move, is that correct?
We probably should be. I imagine in a few hours we will be looked for.
Have you had breakfast?
That might be a good place to start.
Right. I'll make you some breakfast, and can help you pack up and send you on your way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you need help?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
We'll be blind out there.
Can I help?
Daylight hours, isn't it?
But I could still help.
However you wish.
Does she look annoyed or just...
She looks like she's on the verge of tears.
Okay. I just want to stay with you.
I do think that it might, sort of, kill you to go outside, so I would rather you stay in here.
No, we don't have to worry about that part so much. It's just kind of inconvenient.
I don't even want you to explain, just if you say it's fine, then it's fine.
They try to help and are just making a mess of things, but they stay close.
When they're gone, Virgil will turn to Errol. I'm sorry I wouldn't have mentioned if I had known.
If you had known what?
Well, that you don't want to go by that name.
Am I missing something?
It is just a lot of people know my family, but they don't know me, so I'm not really a part of that family anymore. And there are expectations. It sounds like she is from Sweden. It is the same as... well, not the same. It is almost the same as saying you are a good love. So it is easier if you just don't say it.
Yeah.
Okay, alright. So...
Are you feeling well enough to get up at this point?
Yes. Perhaps change wrappings and, things like that.
Would you like assistance with the wrappings?
I'll probably need it.
Okay.
Wrap Henry back up.
present.
Errol distances himself as much as he can inside the tent.
Virgil, do you have the bag with you?
I do.
Could I...
Yes. He will just set it out on the ground and open the drawstrings.
Poof! Turns to a bat, flies inside.
Okay.
The smell of toasting bread and like a sweet sort of honeyed butter wafts in through the tent as Ophelia and sort of Kian make breakfast. And you have a day to run from Navang.
Is that all?
As Kian sits by the fire, holding jars of spices and just handing them every once in a while.
Thank you, Kian.
So,
I don't, actually.
you don't have to sound so worried. I know everything is going less than what I'd hoped for. But it's not all that bad. You don't have to sound like you're full of dread every time I'm about to speak.
Sorry. I've been traveling with my sister, so perhaps it's just a leftover.
It's silly. It's not really important. How did you figure? Did you always know?
She cracks an egg over the side of a pan, sizzles over the flame. What?
It's just it,
What is it, Kian? Please?
I don't think I've ever thought about it before, but this is kind of nice. I kind of shuffle in place a little bit.
She looks over to Kian disbelievingly. What about any of this is nice?
I mean, I don't think I feel like myself completely, but, maybe I could do this a bit more often when I'm not trying to pretend to be someone else.
She places the pan down on the little stand she has over the flames.
How did you know that you were a woman?
Oh, she does smile a bit when you ask that. And no one's ever actually asked me that. I think I didn't really feel like myself before, and I thought that was mostly my family's fault and the situation that they put me in, which wasn't entirely false, that was part of it. But once I left, I was able to become more like myself without the expectations around me. I'm sure they wouldn't have been angry if I had discovered this when I was there, but it wasn't. I was the prince, so it wasn't really something that occurred to me as a possibility. But it just sort of happened. It's a bit gradual for me.
Keen looks thoughtfully at the fire. I'm not sure.
You could try, and if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out.
Maybe sometimes.
She nods. She's still smiling, but she continues making breakfast.
Keen just seems a little bit lighter.
And continues to hand her spices blindly. So should I be calling you something different now?
I like Keen. I don't think anything else feels right. But, if we're talking about disguises,
Well,
that's a bit different.
understood. Bree, could you pass the cinnamon, please? No. Yes, thank you. And yeah, she brings breakfast into the tent. And then glances over at Dalen and Dimitri's tent and brings up something as well.
Early in breakfast, I think Keen goes over. So, Henry,
Are we gonna let Errol out of the bag for this gender talk? Virgil would invite him back out after the, bloody wound is covered again, if he wants to.
Yeah, he'll come back out. He's been pretty quiet and storm cloudy. It is significantly worse now. He doesn't say a word to you.
Okay.
And he doesn't look at you.
Keen helps bring the plates of food into the tent. Pretty promptly sits right next to Henry. So how did you know that you were a man?
Oh, sorry, it's not an inappropriate question or anything. I just not, I wasn't...
Good morning. Sorry, you missed... There was a bit more of a segue.
Ian, it's alright, you don't have to explain. We've known each other long enough that it's not aggressive or anything. Anyway, I mean, I didn't figure it out for a long while, mostly because, well, I'm sure it will come as no surprise, but I was just kind of avoiding it. It was actually the part of the reason why I didn't go through with my wedding. I mean, there were multiple reasons, but one of the reasons is because I was still living as basically as a woman, but didn't feel like that was for me, and I wasn't really comfortable with that, and then I didn't want to, marry Maggie and that lead her on and have false lies and such, even though apparently it's not as... maybe I was just making perceptions of things, but either way, when I got down to summer, though, the outfit changes definitely helped. Buying a new wardrobe that was, well, in some ways not different entirely from what you've seen some of the articles that I've kept here. Granted, I've changed them over the years, but there's been some things. So there wasn't one distinct moment. Though it was easier when I went down to somewhere and no one really knew who I was, to just kind of try different things.
Okay.
Keen's like writing notes.
Were you thinking of something?
No, it doesn't feel quite right. It doesn't feel quite wrong either.
I've personally found that sometimes it can be a little bit of a reframing. Like, I did not like wearing particularly frilly things, even though a lot of that elaborateness was required when I was in Dawning, which I'm sure seems a little bit more unexpected now. But that's because I didn't like wearing them in the context of being a woman. But when I'm a man and wearing them, even though they may be the same items of clothing, but it's the perception of them and how I'm wearing them that's different. So sometimes it can be a little bit of that, I think.
I guess that makes sense.
And I mean, it's something that I've discussed with Vincent and Nadia, the ones that helped with the, he gestures to himself. I did go through with what I would call a custom transition. I believe there's been a little mention of, there's a fae down outside of somewhere, and they can assist with that.
Not really,
Not that I was suggesting that you had to go and make the same kind of deal with the fae that I did, but I mean, that's what that deal was about for me. But it did take trial and error a little bit to get to that point before doing something that,
Candace takes Henry's hand.
He lets
Thank
you hold
you.
it
Oh,
for a moment and then pulls away like a little snake.
Like a what?
Little snake.
Yeah.
carry on. Thank you for telling me.
Yeah. Sorry, you just, maybe it's the vampire hands?
It's, Kim just holds their hands back.
I don't think it did. It was just...
Is it okay? What's going on?
I'm sure it's just a little thing.
Inside check. Yeah, something's going
Something's
on.
afoot.
A foot.
10.
I mean, like... the thing is, Henry doesn't seem to know.
Hey, did it hurt to hold your hand?
Not really hurt. You're just very warm. Maybe it's from being in the sun.
It's not typical, yeah?
Keen just puts their hands on both Kirit and Virgil. Like just reaches for them. I'm not warm, am I? Am I?
What does it feel like to me?
Cold.
No, you're rather cold.
Do you have a temperature?
Kieran's gonna try and like mom temperature your forehead.
Henry will stay there for a little bit and then shrinks away.
Oh no!
Oh god! Did you just try and make yourself unhuggable, you little shit? Don't you quirk your eyebrow at me!
I can't believe you made yourself untouchable, you little hoe. That one too? That one too? That one too hurt?
Yes, you saw the same reaction.
Was it worse?
I was going to give the descriptor, though, that I think is important. Same
Yeah.
with, like, that hand-holding thing. It's more of, like, a gradual pulling
That's what
back
I was
than...
gonna...
Yeah, then directly, like, if you were to be like, I'm sticking my hand on this stovetop.
But did he hurt you too?
Well, I mean, not really, like, hurt. I suppose it wouldn't make sense if you're the same temperature as a vampire. So, what kind of feels like that?
Huh.
It's just not very comfortable.
What about me? Hold out a hand. Just humor me.
Sure.
You don't notice it with Virgil when he touches your hand.
I can hug you. What does that mean? Touching people with intact souls?
Well,
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Henry reaches out a hand to lay atop Virgil's as it's offered to him. Well, same as ever.
Still cold?
Yes.
It's the first time I've been glad for that.
Henry retracts his hand. I assume it's a side effect of the, trial, right?
Yeah, seems as though it fits. Have you noticed anything else out of the ordinary?
No. I will, let you know if something comes up.
Usually it makes itself known for combat.
Oh.
in danger?
Yeah, that is what we used it for.
Last night, I vaguely remember you saying you were going to teach me about the meditation thing.
Yeah, I am. I just worry that you're not quite up to snuff.
Oh.
At this time, Henry. It's been one night.
Oh, well, I wasn't thinking right now.
No. In a few days.
I think that'd probably be smart. But I did interrupt you, Kian, with your,
I mean, that was pretty much it. Just thank you for saying things.
Should we be changing how we say things?
I don't know, but maybe sometimes. Maybe I'll let you know.
Okay.
Kind of like it all, I think. Well, let me think about this for a minute.
Yeah, you can take more than a minute.
Okay. No, I thought I had to decide right now.
Right now.
Oh God.
What's your gender?
Henry, you know what's funny? This conversation feels so familiar to you because it's very similar to how the conversation went with Errol.
Would I have to roll to look for other Errol memory? History?
check.
Okay.
Unravel that sweater, babe.
It's like at least partially visible to the rest of the group, where Henry is like giving the like encouraging smile to his friend, trying to figure out their gender stuff. And then it falls, but not upset, just much more blank than the situation calls for, like, hey, hold up.
10.
Yeah. He's looking for other memories of a less pale, less vampire Errol?
You can't quite think of a specific memory. Like this one, even, you only thought of it as you basically replayed it out again with Kian. It sort of like dawned on you gradually. So as you try to think of something else, you don't like recall a specific moment, but as you glance over to Errol, you do feel faintly the warmth that you would associate with looking at a friend you haven't seen in a while. You can remember what he used to look like as you had this conversation with him all those years ago, and notice the differences that you didn't notice before.
Just let us know if there's anything you need or want us to change.
Will do. Keen smiles.
You all have your breakfast, and Errol is just not even really looking at you all.
As they've kind of fallen into silence and eating food and no longer having deep gender discussions. I just think perhaps we should all stay together just for a bit longer. I know that it's not the safest in some ways, but
I would like that.
When you mean all of us and the winds, or just the people in this room?
I can't leave the caravan.
Where exactly is the caravan?
Are you planning to come with us? Is that what you're saying?
Well, where are you heading?
Where the winds take us.
wherever the wind
She does
stays.
laugh a bit. To be honest, we don't have a particular destination in mind at the moment. We're just wondering.
Perhaps you could wander in the same direction we happen to be heading? There is a danger to you. Navain's eyes will probably be on us.
King kind of looks over to Errol. I don't think we'd want to leave you so suddenly.
They look up as you speak towards them. What do you mean?
Kind of show you around.
Around the oceans?
I mean more. There's a lot of people you haven't met yet.
I don't care, okay? You can stay with them if you wish. You can go if you wish.
Well, I think you can't really make a decision whether you want to go with them if you don't know who they all are yet.
I am going with them.
Can I insight check the primary reason he's upset?
Yeah.
18.
Yeah, so I mean, you knew Errol was already upset because of the whole Virgil running off debacle. That upset seemed to be softening a bit, if you know what I mean. Like it was still there, but they didn't have a wall around them or whatever. It seems like it has gotten darker since they popped into the bag of holding.
Are you just saying that?
What do you mean?
You're just acting like you don't have a choice in this. You don't have to go.
I am aware, yes.
But you're acting like this is sort of the worst thing that could happen right now.
Apologies, I'm not in the best mood. I don't think this is the worst thing that can happen. I would prefer heading off with your friends than being turned out to the oceans.
We were never going to do that.
I know that you are not going to do that. I just mean I know it is not the worst.
You know we're not going to send you off with Ophelia and then never see you again.
I just suggested it because she knows.
I do not have a problem with the suggestion.
Okay, it just seems like perhaps there's a lot you're not saying. Sorry. King looks over to Ophelia.
She shakes her head. I mean, she's watching all this with a look of sympathy.
Yeah.
For both of you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just been a difficult few days. And my things are gone. But I think I know what happened there. They look over to Virgil.
Am I stupid right now? What's happening?
You could be stupid.
Okay.
Where are they? Did you bring them back?
What? Do you mean the stones? From the garden?
Yes, I mean the stones.
I don't know that all of them were yours. Look, I'm sorry I didn't tell you, but I don't think it's right for you to take away his right to grieve.
It doesn't matter. I will go with your friend. I will go with you, he turns to Ophelia. None of this has anything to do with you. I am sorry, Lioness, if I am not ecstatic. But I do not think it is a problem. It is fine.
It's not... I mean, I'd love you to be excited to go with them. I wish I could go. That's beside the point. It's just feels like we're forcing this on you.
You are not.
Then stop acting so...
Don't tell me how to act. I just lost all of my friends. Don't tell me how to act.
Just let us help you.
I am letting you help me. You are sending me with your friends, and it sounds like it is a situation built for someone like me, so that is good. And I accept. If you want someone cheerful, you should not ask me to stay with you.
I don't need you to be cheerful. I'm just...
Again, look, if Aaron is saying that they do, given the circumstances, want to go forward with joining Ophelia, the Winds, etc., and as that's what we're being told, I think we should believe them and stop questioning that. Look, if they don't want to go, that's no offense, Errol, but that would be your problem.
Just want to know what you want. It's whatever.
I want my friends back. Don't think you can help with that. Can't even have stupid fucking rocks.
Maybe you can make a better place to remember them by.
Sure. I don't want to talk about this. Make your plans.
We do need to choose a destination.
Could I maybe have a moment? Just the two of us.
You're welcome to walk out of the...
No.
Well, no.
We could, you know what? There's always the bag.
I haven't been outside in a while.
But no one would hear us in the bag, so if that is what you would prefer, we can do that.
Fine.
Okay. Virgil will go first.
Your roll follows. Find yourself in what does appear to be a room, a sort of dark velvety space.
Okay. I know I've done a pretty shit job of everything up until now, so if you would like to scream at me, you can. I have found it to be helpful just to scream, and no one will hear us in here. But if that is what it takes, I would prefer it, because I don't want to part like this. I don't want to part at all. But if we must, not like this.
I don't want to be angry with you.
But you can be. It's okay if you are.
I'm not. I don't know. What's... I don't understand what your friend wants from me.
Ophelia?
No, Kian.
They just can tell you're upset,
Of course, I am upset.
and they're trying to help. And they don't know you as well as I do. And so they don't know what will help.
I don't either. I just... I wish you had not taken them back. I just wanted something.
You can have my journal.
I don't want your journal.
That is something.
No, that is yours.
And I'm offering it to you because it has
No, I
them
don't
in
want-
it. It has them in it.
I'm not going to take your journal.
Okay, fine. Virgil pulls out his sketchbook and rips out some pages.
Stop.
I have plenty. I don't need it all. This is better than stones. One of each of them. Even Rowan. I don't have a self-portrait to offer. That's not exactly what I do. But if you would like, I can make one before we part.
They nod.
Okay.
Just looking through the pages. You know, Sterling, I lost him too.
I know you did. And I know you haven't gotten a chance to grieve, and that is not fair. I hope it will be easier. Maybe with some distance. Some time. I know for you it is unfairly fresh.
It does not seem like you care.
I'm sorry it came off that way. I do. What can I do to be better at showing it?
They shake their head. I cannot expect you not to choose Rowan.
But I should be better about it. It shouldn't be one or the other.
No, but that is the way of the world. It is always one or the other.
Well, he is not here right now. And you are. So I would like to focus on you.
Don't waste your time.
You're not a waste of time. You're my closest friend. And whether we part now or in a week or not at all, that will not change. I don't want to lose you, Errol. So I wished you back.
He turns around. Your bag of holding is full of textbooks.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he sorts through them a bit until he finds what looks to be a sort of bodice ripper type of novel with a tiefling and a half-orc man on the front, both in like ripped shirts, and he carefully tucks the pages that you've torn out into the book.
Okay.
We all grieve differently.
Do you think your friend is going to mind if...
You can take whatever you want.
I think this may be special to him. I will find a different one.
He takes them back out, turns around, starts to search through the books again. Just finds like an old... It looks kind of like a journal, actually. Like an old journal that you found in the ruins. Places them in that instead.
It's a shame the things I have to leave behind.
Glances at the book.
If it disappears from here, I won't say a word.
I would not dare.
It is not like you.
It is.
You come here.
No. I think you should come here.
Okay then. And he goes in for a hug.
Errol places the book back down, hugs Virgil in return.
Virgil doesn't say anything, he'll just hold them.
I don't want to meet all these new people.
Yeah, we can put it off.
No, I have to. It's fine. I just maybe, I tell Kian that I'm just not going to be particularly sociable. The expectations low, these friends of his...
They'll understand. You don't... No one is expecting you to be yourself. You know?
You should go back before you can't breathe.
That is hardly any different from the normal.
It is a bit different.
Okay. You know they're going to love you.
I don't know about that.
I do.
You are biased.
We'll agree to disagree. And he will exit the bag.
It takes him a moment to let Virgil go, but he does. Errol does not follow.
So,
So we're sorting it. Didn't mean to interrupt.
well, I mean, you didn't really interrupt anything. We're just getting started on where we want to go next.
Okay. And do we have a preferred direction from anyone?
Away from dawning?
Yeah,
That seems prudent.
I agree.
Where are the winds right now?
Well, are you traveling with us or are you not traveling with us?
I think we'd like to, for at least some time, if that is all right.
Fuck it, yes, it's fine. They're about a quarter of a mile that way.
So close.
We could get there like half a day.
Sweetie, 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
They're like shouting distance.
No, more like in 5 minutes.
Why aren't we there right now?
I thought...
Did they not want to see me?
No, we just were trying to be cautious about who knows where we are.
We should also probably give Dylan and Dimitri at least a heads up and collect what we had commissioned.
Yes,
Yeah.
and offer them a thank you for everything.
There's a lot. I don't know who these people are you've commissioned things from. It doesn't matter. It's fine. It's fine. Just go. Just go.
Kian just takes both of her hands and just smiles and pats them.
Thank you. If you're all going over to speak with your friends?
Yes. They're trustworthy, if that helps.
Good. Yes. While you're gone, could I speak to Errol?
Well, it is not my decision, but feel free to ask.
She looks at the bag.
Shit.
I'm not just going to reach in there and pull them out.
No,
You can hear when you're in there if you open it, I think.
Oh, okay.
You could just like call in.
I suppose you would know that, wouldn't you? Yes. All right, I'll try that. Okay. She shoos you out with your hand. All right,
Yes.
be on your way.
Okay, yes, alright. Virgil goes.
We go over to Dalen and Dimitri's tent.
Will everyone please roll a perception check for me?
What the fuck? That's the third 3 I've rolled tonight.
You guys.
Yeah? What did you do?
17.
Like a good roll, but not an amazing roll.
For Kian?
That's true.
I got a dirty 20.
6.
Oh wait, I have disadvantage, I bet.
You don't even get to roll, sorry.
Okay.
I forgot that you are blind. Kira, you notice as you all walk by the campfire, it flickers strangely, like it seems to, without any breeze to blow it, it almost leans in Henry's direction.
Kira stops in his tracks and casts Detect Magic on the fire.
It just seems like a normal campfire.
Did anyone else see that?
You might have to define that.
What is it?
Perhaps I'm just seeing things, but I swear the fire did something odd. I know that's vague, but
Yeah, what is the fire doing now?
It's still sort of leaning towards Henry.
there's no wind blowing it like that.
Can you please describe what you're seeing right now?
Campfire is sort of chasing Henry.
What?
Not
Chasing.
but it's attractive
Yearning
too.
for? Sorry.
Dalen pokes his head out from the tent.
The fire's in love with you? What's going on?
I don't.
Can you, like, maybe walk over here?
Henry walks over here.
What does it do?
It follows. It's not like it's leaping out of the circle that has been burning.
Yeah.
It's just a lean.
Should I touch it?
No, don't do that.
But I can.
don't think you should. It might hurt.
Okay. To be clear, Rowan is not immune to being caught on fire, so don't do that. But do you have your bow on you?
Why?
Knock an arrow. See what happens.
At the fire?
Anywhere. Just try it out.
Okay. Henry will go back over to his things to grab bow and arrow, knock an arrow, turns back to the forest. I feel a bit silly. Is something supposed to be happening?
Do you feel any different?
No. He puts down the tension for his bow and walks over to the fire, touches it anyway.
Oh, no.
Hell yeah!
Okay.
Just briefly, like a pass through it.
You're a tiefling, it'll be fine.
He's
It ducks as Henry's hand passes over it.
It's a bit odd.
Okay, so what's happening now?
Well, he tried to touch the fire.
I told you. It gave us more information.
and I didn't touch the fire. Well, more specifically, the fire didn't touch me. We'll do it when Keen can see it too.
Oh, okay. I understand.
Good morning, sorry.
Good morning. Are you all right?
I think so. Sorry to keep you waiting.
No, this looks interesting, Mr. Goodlove.
Oh, well, I don't have an explanation.
I think it may have something to do with. Well, I suspect you suspect the same thing.
Yes.
I don't want to interrupt. If you are committed to your experiment right now, but
Oh, we can come back to it later.
We'll make more fire, I'm sure.
would you mind coming inside?
Thank you.
Love that.
Well, thanks. I've been invited in.
Yeah. This tent is a little more heavy duty than yours, and Kian, that's actually quite a relief to you, because even in Henry's tent, still there was a bit of daylight that was able to shine in, glow through the thin fabric, but this one is a lot thicker, a lot darker, and there's just a little arcane glowing orb set to the side to light the space. Dimitri kind of resembles Errol after being sunburnt. He's wearing a heavy coat and a hood and is hunched over some sort of device. Glances up as you all come inside. Yes, do you want your things?
Is he okay?
Says his alien. Are you trying to whisper so he can't hear you? We're both alright. It's just Dimitri looks up at you. I don't leave my room very often.
Then we can make this quick, if that helps.
Dimitri turns around and drags a pack forward. Alright, so we have a few things for you that you asked for. A piccolo, just as you ordered. And he reaches in and, like I said, it's a very large pack, and pulls out a piccolo for you, Henry. It appears to be made of wood, finely polished, dark, like oak brown wood with golden metalwork. And there are faint carvings in the wood that, as you bring it closer, you can see are like vines crawling up the sides. So if you do your magic and you want it to be disguised, you have to use this.
It's very fine craftsmanship.
There's a hint of a smile when you say that. So don't be alarmed if it lights up or something when you are casting and using it. That is its job, to look like it is channeling your abilities.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Is it not to your liking?
It is. It's just been... I guess it's only been one day. Not even a night. It's just been a long night.
He nods.
Yeah.
For you and for your friend, and they pull out a small, dark case, hand it over.
You're gonna have to carry it. No, you can't just mind what you're doing.
But it's so appealing.
We don't have a camera.
The microphone is like keying in the sun.
Yes.
I open it. Dean takes it
That's not what you said.
and opens the case.
Inside you see a pair of glasses. They are not sunglasses, and they're like half moon style and silver framed. Those are going to darken when you go outside, so you don't have to take them on and off as you move around. And they are enchanted. I don't think that typical tinted glass is going to do much, but hopefully these will do the trick.
He got you transition lenses.
Transition?
And I made the same for your friend. Hopefully those can be useful. I am afraid I don't have anything that will help you resist hunger of your sort. That is
Asking too much.
That is not too much to ask. It is just not something we can provide.
Yeah, makes sense.
So these will help seeing in the daylight? Does it provide any protection at all from it?
You mean for your friend?
Yeah.
No, those are not going to do that trick, but this should help. And he pulls out a simple cloak with brightly gleaming buttons up the center. This should help. It's just the metalwork. If they want to move the buttons onto some other coat or something that suits their style more, go ahead, but pass it over.
Virgil takes it and holds it to his chest. I can't thank you enough for this.
It's not immunity. It's not the same as before, but it should be less painful.
This is something. Thank you.
Let's see what else. I've given you the chain, Lionos. Yes, you. Dimitri holds a necklace out to you. This one is on a cord similar to the one you already wear, but hanging on the end is just a simple pendant that just appears to be some sort of abstract shape, not necessarily reminiscent of much more than like a strangely shaped pebble you might find on the beach. This should help calm you when you need it. I know some curses, issues like the ones you have, it can be difficult when you are under distress.
Thank you.
I know it is not much, but it does help. It has been something useful to us. That's over to Dalen. I hope it is not disappointing.
Oh no, this is incredibly kind.
He shrugs, looks a bit uncomfortable, rifles through the bag again before just opening one of the pockets on the outside and pulling out a small case on the floor and opens it. There are 2 rings, just like bronze-ish metal bands. I made one of these for your friend Commander Umbra. They have the truth spell in them. I'm afraid I could not swing making one for each one of you, but well, if you're going to be out in the world fucking everything up, it is helpful sometimes to make sure the person you're talking to is being honest with you as you are being dishonest with them.
I love him.
These are only going to work once a day, so use it wisely.
This is very kind of you.
Not entirely. Your success is interesting to me.
I hope we are able to help each other.
I hope so as well. Floris,
You don't have to call me that. Virgil is fine. I don't know that I am a Floris, really.
Virgil then. You asked for something to help you, essentially so that you did not lose your mind because of a broken gem. Yes?
Yes.
Well, from what she understands, and from what I understand from what she understands, the broken gem should not affect you in that matter anyways. Umbra made you the piece that you requested, but there is no magic on it. It is just a trinket. She found no sign that, at least from her investigations, that there should be any sort of connection there. So if you are losing your mind, then I think you just have to take it. It happens to us all.
Understood. Thank you for trying.
Come on, let's check on Virgil. Does he believe this? 16?
You get that he never really expected a fix.
Dimitri looks at you, glances over to Dalen. And they both seem to hesitate for a second. It seemed from what we heard that Umbra found evidence of other people wearing old or broken gems, and that there was no detriment to it
What?
in donning.
Okay, who was this? Who was out there wearing broken soul gems?
The fellow commanders in the past, not anymore. I assume that as I understand it, they have newer versions now.
But if you're referring to the original shepherds, the gems weren't broken when we were wearing them.
Not the surviving ones, no. There were a few others who attempted the trials.
And they produced gems? The dead recruits?
Yes, according to Ump's findings. But Dalen, there is a hint of worry on his face. I don't think that it is something worth investigating. There wasn't much more to it.
Well, no, I don't intend on turning back to go to Dawning, but...
He looks a bit relieved when you say that.
Okay. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. But who was wearing the remnants of these gems without negative effect?
I believe Commander-in-Chief Navain was one of them.
Of course they were. These shards, do they still exist?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what to do with that. Okay. Thank you for telling me.
He nods.
Thank you both for all of this.
All your assistance has been greatly appreciated.
Well, Dimitri straightens up a bit. Just, make sure to, I don't know, kill Navain for us at some point.
Do our best.
And that is where we'll end our session for tonight.